There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
We are live, and I already messed up. There we go. I fixed it real quick. But we are live. It is Tuesday night, 7 p.m. I am Sean Stanley. That man down there is the great Frankie Fresco. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. Let's go Florida Panthers.
Let's go Panthers. Let's go Cats.
Yes, sir.
What is it? Vamos Gatos?
Yeah. Well,
Not even close, is it? Not even
no,
close.
you did a good job. Yeah. That's what do you call them?
You're just being nice to me, or what?
I just never heard it in Spanish like that before. But yes, vamos gatos.
Isn't that what they said? They're like, I see it all the time in the chat on the big ocean. They're always like, Vamos Gatos. So I was just, hey, it's better than Duolingo. Well, buddy, pretty good damn week of wrestling. Good weekend, definitely. We're gonna get started. We'll start right with AEW. Dynamite was okay leading into Dynasty. Nothing earth-shattering, right? I mean, did you pick anything out of there that was like something worthy of talking about?
Well, what happened in AEW Dynamite? I don't even remember.
It was very, very low-key, actually. The only thing I did, here's one thing I'll ask this, and I'll ask you because I saw somebody on X tweet it out, and then I was kind of like, it's a good question here. They did a 3-hour Dynamite Rampage together on Saturday.
You mean Collision?
Sorry, Collision. Sorry. Yes. Jeez. Thank you. Collision/Rampage on Saturday. Mm-hmm. I'm not even getting into numbers because it is what it is. But my question is this. They did it again the same way they did the wasn't it Dynamite and Rampage they ran together where it was 2 and then 1? That was also, or was that also Collision and Rampage the other time too?
No, I think it is Rampage and Dynamite.
Yeah, because then they had the main event of Dynamite, and then they went into the Rampage. Christian and Copeland. That's right. It was Dynamite. It was Christian and Copeland. They did the same thing with FTR and the Young Bucks. They main evented Collision. It overran into the run over for the Rampage. And then the numbers just drop from there. Why don't they treat it like a 3-hour block and just have the main event the main event?
They should.
I mean, I don't understand. And then also, like, you have a lot of your guys that are going to be in marquee matchups wrestling the night before a pay-per-view. That's ballsy, man. That's ballsy.
Yeah, because they could get injured too.
Yeah. I mean, and then, of course, we get to AEW Dynasty, and I'll let you go first, man. Your thoughts. Did AEW Dynasty deliver in your book, Frankie Fresco, Mr. AEW?
Well, look, man, I've always said that AEW's in-ring talent is very impressive, and they didn't fail again. They did a phenomenal job. A lot of the fights were very, very fun. I thought they did a good job with every single fight that they did. There was maybe one or two that I was
not every single, but okay.
maybe there was one or two that I probably wasn't
One
too thrilled
definitely.
about.
One definitely.
I think we know which one is the one we're going to talk about, which is probably the one where people are telling him to go home already and quit. And it's funny that
I won't say that about it. I just didn't understand why it was there, man.
I mean,
that's the only problem I have with, and again, this is just Sean Stanley personal old fart problems. It's on a Sunday and it's 50 hours long. And I got to wake up in the next morning, man. Like, and you got 12 matches. And then the first 2 matches, I look at my watch, I'm like, well, this isn't going to be a good night. It's 9:05 and the second match just ended. And Okada and Pac, fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why I understand the 6-man needs some time.
Yeah.
But why so much time? But then again, I look at it this way too, is I like what AEW does. They kind of give them the freedom to go out there and have these great matches. I just sometimes feel like stretch them out a little bit long. But I honestly thought this Dynasty was good, man. Great, if I shall say, except for one match to me.
Look, there was 2 things I didn't like, man. That was just me. Obviously, the Chris Jericho and Hook match was not the best. That was probably the weakest one. And I also wasn't sold too much on that Willow Nightingale match with Julia Hart. I was a little bit disappointed about that match. Those were the only 2 that I kind of was not.
I felt like that was the rushed match when it should have been Jericho and Hook. I felt like Willow and them were rushed through. And again, I don't know if something more is to it or whatever, but it felt like it was like eating your dinner real quick so that you get to dessert. Like the whole thing was getting Monet to come out in front of Willow. That's what it was. It wasn't, to me, I honestly feel like it's a mistake to take the belt off Julia Hart right now. I mean, and again, I'm not saying that Willow doesn't deserve it. She does. But you have time in between the pay-per-view where you could have done it. I just feel like you could have worked something else out of it to prolong her title reign. I understand that the next pay-per-view you want to be Willow against Mercedes Moné, but you have time to manipulate that after this pay-per-view. I just felt like, I feel like since Mercedes Moné showed up, Julia Hart took a back seat and got jobbed out.
Maybe. I think the issue here,
Mercedes Moné, the finish, the only person who's been touched by Mercedes Moné, by the way, is Julia Hart.
Yeah, we found out that Mercedes hasn't cleared.
Yeah, too. She gets beat up before she could spit the mist out. She gets punched by Willow.
She does.
To set up for the tag team match.
Sure.
And then you go into the tag team match. If I'm not mistaken, Willow pins her in the tag team match. And then you go to the pay-per-view and Willow beats her again.
I mean, I knew Willow was gonna win. I called it on the
100%. I just feel like, again, I'm more of the old school. To me, it would have been more entertaining if Julia Hart would have somehow kept it and then dropped it to Julia at a Dynamite or a Collision or whatever, leading into the pay-per-view to where you get Mercedes Moné against Willow. I get that. That's their money match for Mercedes coming back from injury. I'm sure they're going to work it up to the person that injured her, but it still doesn't also I feel like if Julia Hart keeps the title, it still keeps open on who attacked Mercedes Moné.
I agree.
I feel like that's been swept under the rug and nobody's talking about it anymore.
I think that what they could have done is they could have made it a way for it to then be maybe like a triple threat match in Double or Nothing instead of just being Willow versus Mercedes Moné eventually, because that's
and again though too is they could work back to make that happen. I'm just going off of what we saw happen and transpire Sunday night. That's all. Right now, it feels like, to me, Julia Hart's just getting written off.
But I also heard that she was suffering from some injuries as well.
And again, maybe that's what happened with that match, and maybe that's why it went the way it went. But to me, it just felt like it was a rushed match to get to Mercedes Moné coming out. And I didn't think that it was that. I mean,
I feel the same that it was.
Can I tell you something, mate? If I have to hear CEO,
what's wrong with CEO, bro?
OMG, I want to bang my head on the wall.
CEO? Didn't you see the tweet she just posted a couple minutes ago? She was like working out, and I don't know if it was a couple minutes ago, but she was working out, and then all of a sudden, when her song pops out and she starts doing the CEO dance right in front of like the street. I love it. I think that was the best card that AEW has delivered in a minute. I thought the Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson fight.
Maybe overall, you're right. Maybe overall, yes. Because I think the last few, there was like a good start, a bad middle, and then a great ending, which kind of saved the cards. Whereas this card, I thought all the way, to me, minus the Jericho Hook thing, I thought it was great.
I thought so too. And I thought it was going to take kind of like a downturn a little bit after the Will Ospreay Bryan Danielson fight, but it kept up, man. You called it. You called it. The return of Jack Perry, which was really good. And I'm liking the fact that whoever they started hiring from WWE, you could tell that they're trying to do storylines now, and they're doing a better job with them.
And that's the thing I said before is now my issue isn't that they are doing storylines now. Now I just feel like I think they feel like they've jumped in the middle of some of these to where they're like, okay, let's figure out how to end this stuff. Because like, to me, and again, I don't want to harp on it too much, but I do, because I don't understand what they're doing with Jericho and Hook. Like, I don't get where it's heading. Like everything else, when you look at it, you're like, okay, Swerve and Joe, you know the end game is Swerve winning the title. Danielson against Ospreay, you knew it was going to be a phenomenal match. It did. You knew it was about respect, and then I guess at the end they're going to try to pull some thing to where maybe you're having doubts about Will Ospreay or whatever. But at least, you know. And again, that's the thing about AEW, though. No matter how they get to the pay-per-view always delivers. The people in the ring, the performers in the ring, the men and women in the ring, the end result works at the pay-per-views because of them. My problem's always been getting to those pay-per-views. And some of the storylines just don't, it feels like the House of Black and Copeland and Briscoe and Kingston just felt like, let's just throw two guys with Adam Copeland and have them take on.
But they did a good job by having.
Oh, no. The match delivered. The match delivered. Again, that's why I say, like, no matter what, once they get inside the ropes, I have no problem with AEW.
No. And you
getting to inside the ropes is where I have my issues with what happens with AEW.
And you called it. Like, the best thing they could have done was put Malachi Black to pin Adam Copeland, and that's exactly what happened. Which means, so happy. What does that mean? Now you got them two gonna be going after, you know, the TNT belt is gonna be on the line for them.
And the interesting thing too is Adam Copeland takes the black mist to the face. Every time somebody's been sprayed with the mist, what has happened?
They kind of go dark.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how that
except for Willow
plays into that.
Well, maybe
we did for a couple weeks, and then I think they changed the whole storyline. I think they reversed what they were going to do because Mercedes Moné started coming into the picture. I think that rewrote some of the stuff going there.
I think the issue with Jericho and Hook was that Jericho, a lot of people are tired of Jericho. A lot of people are not. Ever since he changed from back to that, now he went to Lionheart, it hasn't worked for him. And I was watching Sean Ross Sapp. He was doing his podcast, and somebody mentioned and gave a recommendation, which I thought was pretty cool. Why don't, to make Chris Jericho relevant again, and people either hate him or love him, team him up with the Elite. And I think that's a great idea. You team him up with the Elite. The Elite is hated right now. You know, they got Jack Perry in there. Bring in Jericho. That way Jericho could be a heel with the Young Bucks and Jack Perry, and you're gonna get that momentum again where everybody's gonna hate Chris Jericho. Because right now, it's not so much that they hate Jericho, it's not that they love Jericho, they just don't want to see Jericho at all. And that's what's hurting Chris Jericho.
I feel like he just needs to leave for a while. Like, honestly, what I would have done in that match, I would have had Hook choke him out and Jericho be gone off TV for a month. And then bring him back. Whatever. Like you said, if you want to bring him back with the Elite, I have no problem with that. But then take him off of TV permanently now, just for a little bit, and then bring him back with that. Because, like, to me, that did nothing. One, for the FTW title, which I understand is whatever title you want to make up and be. Did nothing for Hook. Nothing for Jericho. Nothing for AEW. That match did nothing for nobody.
Well, they were mentioning and saying that was just kind of like a charity thing for Jericho, like for him to go ahead and put on his trophies and be like, look, I'm also now this type of champion now. So it's like it's meaningful. It's meaningful at the end of the day. But that's why people were not into that match, and that's why people were not
meaningful to who? I mean, it's pro wrestling.
It's meaningful for Chris Jericho, just another acolyte for him. You know, like, hey, look, I got another belt.
Hey, I got an FTW title. Well, I can purchase one in the store. Do I have one too?
But that's why that match was probably the worst match. That was
he hit him with 600 code breakers. The Lion Salt, whatever, 200 times. He hit him with the Lions of Jericho, the whatever, for twice.
Judas effect, baby. He gave him Judas effect twice.
And then finally, a baseball bat to the head finally did it.
Yeah, and then Taz gets up, and you thought Taz was gonna do something, and Taz didn't do anything either.
Taz can't do anything. His neck is messed up, man.
Yeah, man. So I was like, man, like,
did you see when Jericho pushed him, how he had to take the bump? Like, he went to the ropes and he went down to a knee so he could hold him. He can't take a bump, man. He probably hurt himself, his neck and stuff, man.
I that idea of Jericho going to the Elite, I think, going with the Young Bucks, I think is the right decision.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bad heel,
I think
he's gonna be part of that group again.
Just cut ties, man. Let him work in the office.
Bryan Danielson, pulling again the Bryan Danielson gimmick of him injuring himself. I thought
he must have like a shoulder or something that he can just pop out and pop in or something, man. Because when he took that move, when you see him lean up, his shoulder's out.
Yeah,
you can see the bone, like,
yeah,
you know. And I mean, I've done that in a match, and they ran my shoulder into the steel pole to pop it back into place, and it was okay. I had like dead arm, but like, I don't know if he actually did or if not. I mean, I don't know.
The thing about it is that it kept a lot of people guessing. I was one of the ones who got like fooled for it. I thought he was.
I mean, obviously, it was afterwards. They did come out. Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp came out like, I think, a day later and said that everything went as planned. And it was not like, because like, to me also, I was like, when I'm watching it, I'm like, with all of the crap that Tony Khan and AEW has taken, if the ref didn't just stand in the way, if he was really hurt, and let him take a finish, you know what I'm saying? Because all the Matt Hardy, the Matt Hardy stuff, and some of the other stuff there, like, I don't know. But again, when I watched it, when you sent over the thing there, and I looked at him when he landed, you could see his shoulder, like the bone is, like, it looks like it's popped. To me, it looks like it's popped out or dislocated.
Yep. And
then the ref just kind of moves it to the side. And then he does the thing like, oh, when he hits him, like, oh, I messed up. But like, I
and not only that, but you mentioned it to me, which makes sense, is that this is now a way for them to kind of write off Bryan Danielson eventually retiring, because he did say that he was going to probably call it quits after a year.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's what this match was, though, too. Like, which was, you know, is just this is him getting his opportunity to fight Will Ospreay and some of these guys that he would not have gotten a chance to fight if he would have stayed in WWE. I mean, that's,
man, that fight delivered, man. That was that fight had the same type of energy as like when I saw Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. That's how I felt. in my eyes, but unfortunately, it's not big enough like in WWE. But if
I
AEW
mean,
was big enough, it would
yeah.
gotten that vibe.
In the true pro wrestling fans, yes.
Yeah,
but again, it didn't have the casuals behind it like what Hogan and Rock did.
But what a fight!
That's what made that one so much bigger, because it had the casuals and the true wrestling fans, whereas this one had the true-hearted wrestling fans knowing pretty much what was going to happen and just enjoying the ride that both of them took us on.
Obviously that was the match of the night, but for me, man, and the one that comes right after, the one right below it, I have to give props to these two women. It definitely surpassed Willow and Julia, and that was Toni Storm. And man,
they brought it, man. They brought it.
Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa killed it, man. They did a phenomenal job. They really like, and you know the history that they don't like each other either, but yet they were able to work so well together in that ring.
And it told a story too, right? Because what happened? She comes out with like the powder on her face, kind of like her face painted like a little bit. And then Thunder Rosa's got the mask on. She pulls it up and she's got no paint.
I love that.
You know
I love the fact she didn't have any mask.
Again, it's part of the story. It's like, okay, this is good. And then they went through the whole match and told the story. The only thing that the finish to me, where the low blow kick, like, I would have preferred a titty slap and then something.
Titty slap.
Although somebody said the C word kick was that.
Oh.
I don't want to say the C word, but you know.
I get you.
Yeah.
And did you hear her after in the post media scrum?
No, I did not stay up for the media scrum. That's what I was. That was the thing and I did not go back. I kind of like, you know, because again, if you miss the scrum, usually everybody puts out the good stuff, and if there's ever something that I'll go back and listen to it. But sometimes there's some things that are good that
the scrum,
they don't think is newsworthy.
The scrum was so good. She went on there, you know her, so she takes out a piece of paper and she reads this whole lecture about herself. Yeah. And then at the end, she's like, if any of you guys have any questions after me reading this off, you should go like kill yourself or something, or go drop dead or something. And they're like, there was a weird question that was asked. Like they had asked her about the guy who goes with her, something like that, like who came up with the idea of bringing him to be on like her corner and stuff. Luther, yeah. And then after that, they asked her, like she looked and she was like, what the hell was that question? And then they asked her a second question, and then she just got mad and just threw like a bottle of water on the floor and then the paper, and she just walked out. And it was so good. Toni Storm, very, very happy with her character. Her character is, she's really doing wonders over there. And I was happy that she beat Thunder too, because she right now she's better than Thunder. And Thunder Rosa, great comeback for her, man. Really excited.
Yeah, it put her on the map a little bit there. It brought her up to where she needed to be, I think.
Yeah, man. I didn't. It was a minute before I had actually seen Thunder Rosa do such a great job, and she finally did do something that the fans will enjoy. And it also shows you what AEW has in the women's division.
Yeah,
and also makes
me use it right.
Upset.
Got a good division.
It makes me upset of why Jade Cargill never fought Toni Storm, why Jade Cargill never fought Thunder Rosa, these women, because they're really good wrestlers and they're really, really entertaining. So hopefully Mercedes Moné gets to fight, and hopefully we also do get the return of Britt Baker, which was something that Tony Khan spoke about, and MJF, of course.
Yeah, and hopefully Jamie Hayter too. I'd like to see her back in some fold somewhere.
Yeah, and we also got Adam Cole. It looks like he's finally
he's back. He's
100%
better. The look he gave Wardlow.
See, so those are the little things that I'm like, okay, now that's the WWE type of little
eggs, man. The little eggs.
Yeah, I like that. And did you see that Wardlow was in a very horrendous accident going to the pay-per-view? Did you see that?
Oh no, I did not.
Yeah, so he got in a huge freaking accident. His car, I think, got totaled. If you go to his X page, you'll see he posted it.
That why he looked so disheveled when he got like.
Yeah, he
looked kind of like I'm here.
Yeah, he looked a little bit off, but man, his car got destroyed. It was really bad, man. I felt bad for him because I was like, damn, that sucks that he got in such a bad accident, but he was able to still make it. So I was thankfully he's.
I wonder if Cole picked him up.
Hold on. I could share it with you.
Oh boy, here we go. He's gonna mess up my screen.
Of course I want.
That's why he wants to share anything so he can mess up my screen. And by the way, Cap for Life, no doubts in. Terry's in. Chad's in. My dad's in. Appreciate you guys.
There it is, sir.
What did he hit?
There it is, sir. You see that? You see how friggin' he destroyed the crap out of that. Look at that. Said the devil's been doing everything to stop me lately. Still hasn't learned he can't. Banged up, but I'm alive. Thank you to those that reached out. I appreciate you all. And there it is.
He must have got hit in that front area.
Yeah, that's a total loss, man. Look at the airbags. Airbags deployed and everything. So.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So he got hit pretty bad. I don't know what he did, but he definitely. There it is. I messed it up. Damn. That's what I wanted to do.
There we go.
Yeah, he got into it. So yeah, he looked a little bit off, but still, the WWE, those writers that they brought, that one or two people.
But also, you know what? I don't know that it's necessarily the writers per se, because here's the one thing that I, when you look at some of the things that's happening now, right? Mercedes Moné's there, former WWE. Adam Copeland's there, former WWE. Bryan Danielson, former WWE. Moxley didn't like the WWE way, so I don't want to throw him in there. But a lot of these guys and gals encompassed, as far as their role on TV and understood that role. And you're watching them kind of play it out now and get it back. So I think it might be a mixture of both, a mixture of maybe somebody finally able to get into Tony's ear that he listens to and is like, okay, maybe we'll do a little bit like them. Because I feel like, to me, Tony's thing has always been, I don't want to be them. If we start being them, then I'm against what I wanted this to be. Whereas I think if you take a little bit of it and make it your own, now you're starting to, as we say, you're starting to worry about your product and make your product better. You don't have to follow necessarily A to Z, the blueprint that WWE did, but if A to J works and then you put your own steps in KL and a few others, then why not do it? I just feel like they were so against being what that machine supposedly is that I think they just lost their way and was just like, we're just going to be whatever they do, we do different.
I think they, like you said, they should go ahead and take a little bit from WWE and just ride with it. I do feel, man, that AEW did a tremendous job signing Will Ospreay. That guy is very talented and he's very lovable. People love to see him. And that guy's
and kudos to Tony Khan. And this is the one thing that, again, however you want to word it, the grind, the whatever, that's the one thing that AEW can use as an advantage to some of these workers. Again, for instance, the Will Ospreay situation was a personal one to where he couldn't be on the road 4 to 5 times a week. Mm-hmm. Again, he could have, but then he would have been putting his the personal priorities to the side so that he could go out there and do it. Whereas AEW allows him to do both. And again, I'm happy that with what Will Ospreay said, and hopefully people start, because again, now I know Booker T jumped on it now and said he's going to be sorry that he said that to Triple H and this and that. But here's the gist of it. Cody Rhodes took a sledgehammer to a throne. And this is what Sean Ross Sapp said. Look where he's at now. CM Punk, I'll never go back to WWE again. Hell froze over. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for them to say, oh, he'll never... Look, Will Ospreay is happy where he's at. Let him be the best Will Ospreay he can be for AEW. And that's what's happening right now. And kudos to him. And kudos to him for at the thing being like, I'm done with it. I said what I said, and I'm done. I want to move on.
I like that. I like that he mentioned that in the media.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear from him.
Yeah.
And go. Now, are you still going to have your little pot shots here and there? Yes, but not harping on the damn comments. That's what I'm saying. You're always going to have your shots here and there, but just let's move on from that situation about the grind and go from there, man.
I agree. And then, of course, AEW got it right. They gave the championship. They finally gave it to Swerve, which is the right person. And then obviously,
great job. Your 4 months as a champion. Good job.
Samoa Joe did a phenomenal job being the champion for AEW. But it's now Swerve time. And Swerve is so big, especially the way he came out with the Black Panther type of look and everything. That was really cool. Now they have to find a quality opponent for Swerve. And that's where I'm a little bit kind of like, hey, what's going to happen? Now, remember, next pay-per-view is in New York, which I'm expecting MJF, sir. I'm expecting MJF to show up after the main event.
MJF comes and saves Wardlow from the Undisputed Kingdom.
So you think that they're gonna put Wardlow versus like somebody from
I don't necessarily know if it's gonna be an 8-man and Wardlow gets pinned and they turn on him and MJF makes his return just for the save.
It's not a bad idea.
And also to get his revenge back. And then now you bring him and Wardlow kind of back together to take on those guys. You know, I mean, again, it's in Long Island, man.
For me, I think
I feel like he's doing something, but I don't know if you bring him back, because I feel like if you bring him back in the title picture in Long Island, he's got to win. So you're only going to Swerve the title?
No. I don't. The way I'm looking at it is Swerve is gonna fight somebody for the title. He defends the title at Double or Nothing, and then when he wins and he's celebrating, there's where you hit the cue and MJF makes his return, and that's how the show ends with MJF back in AEW. That's how they should end that.
The only thing I will say, to me, it makes more sense for him to go after the people that put him out and cost him his title, which is the Devil.
But he never lost the title in the first place, technically.
What are you talking about? Samoa Joe choked him out.
Yeah, but it was kind of like he was beat up. He was destroyed. Like,
well, no, I get that, but he was beat up because of the Devil and everything else that was being put on him. The problem that they're going to have now with that whole thing is they've put the Undisputed Kingdom down so much. Like, you're going to have to build them up. If you want them to be involved in the MJF return, you need to build them up quick.
Well, they got Roderick Strong winning. Finally, they got a win against Kyle O'Reilly. That was good.
But I mean, dude, like,
one win, crazy.
1 win and 2 wins. Roddy's the only one that's got any head speed in that group.
Yeah, I mean,
so your spot might be right, because to me, you've either that or you build up where it's Adam Cole against Wardlow somehow, and then they're beating up Wardlow and the music hits and he makes the save there.
I just don't see it.
But I don't see him coming back just straight to the picture, man, because
I see
Swerve is not
I see him. I see Swerve defending the belt, then MJF makes his grand return and Double or Nothing, and then you lead up to whatever the next pay-per-view is, and then Undisputed comes again and gets involved between the feud versus MJF and Swerve. And then now you could start feeding him, Wardlow, and you could start feeding him Roderick Strong and stuff like that.
But Wardlow won't be there that long, man. If they keep Wardlow there for the next 3 or 4 months, no way, man. Not with that look that he got from Adam Cole. There's no way.
Eventually, well, that's the thing. You could probably so what you could do is you could put Wardlow eventually interfering with an MJF match and all that stuff, and then once you think Undisputed is gonna go ahead and just continue knocking MJF, they turn and they turn on Wardlow, and then that's when you see MJF and Wardlow kind of work together. But you could drag this. I think this is the route they should take. I honestly feel because it's in New York that they should end that show with MJF coming out. I thought MJF was going to come out.
Then you don't have Swerve finish the title. You don't have Swerve.
No, Swerve wins. Swerve defends his belt and he wins.
You don't have Swerve into Matt. Like, I just
you do. You have Swerve, but against somebody else.
MJF against Swerve too soon for me.
You could drag it. You could drag it. I'm trying to see who could
build
be
somebody else up to get that Swerve spot right now to be competitive with Swerve right now. I just look, man. Until I see something on AEW TV, a scarf or something, I all this is for naught to me. I feel like they're kind of hinting with the way Adam Cole kind of turning on Wardlow and the Wardlow and MJF type things, but there's not even been a damn mention on TV about anything MJF.
Which should be a sign that hopefully they get it right and he comes back at the next pay-per-view.
You would hope so.
Because now it looks like AEW is actually putting stuff together and it's making sense.
Yeah,
it's
but how top heavy can they get?
You could drag that on, man, and you could have Swerve
that's not what I'm saying. How heavy can they get? I'm saying,
but you could still
top heavy.
You could still have Swerve beat MJF, and Swerve can still be a champion and continue to be the champion, but with just interference.
You're not understanding where I'm going with this. All right, let's go through this. Swerve.
Mm-hmm.
Will Ospreay.
Yes.
Okada.
He's not up there yet. He has his own belt, so we could leave him alone.
Young Bucks.
That's a good. They're there. Yeah.
Adam Copeland.
He's okay. TNT belt.
Bryan Danielson.
He's gonna retire.
Jon Moxley.
Moxley has that other belt. Nobody cares about Moxley right now, except for that belt.
Top heavy though. Top heavy.
Yeah, but you could work with Swerve and MJF. Bryan Danielson is gonna retire soon, so we could, and that's why they use that angle of him getting injured. The Young Bucks, they could still have a feud with somebody. I mean, we haven't
talked about if Kenny Omega comes back.
Nah, but Kenny, I've heard things that Kenny still slowed down quite a bit.
Oh no, he's not gonna come back himself. He'll probably be more of the. They'll probably team him up with somebody. I'm sure.
It looks bright when it comes to AEW. And when you say top heavy, man, I could use the WWE. You got CM Punk top heavy, Cody Rhodes top heavy. You had The Rock top heavy. You had Roman Reigns top heavy. You had Drew McIntyre top heavy.
But again, this is where I'm going with this is they had a 2-night pay-per-view. They had 2 nights of pay-per-views because they were so top heavy to make sure everybody got their shine. Like that's what I'm trying to. How do you get all this top heavy on TV again? Because the only TV show that people are sort of watching is Dynamite.
Yes.
So, like that's my worry on this is that like you start telling good stories and everything, but right now you only have 2 hours that everybody's paying attention to.
Yeah, but I mean, Adam Copeland is not top heavy in my opinion. He's okay. He's having his moment with Malachi Black. So remove them. They're not top heavy where they're the main attraction. They're one of the guys that has a good storyline going on, and there you go.
Okay, so let me ask you this. The Dynamites that did the best, who was the main event in it?
Oh, I don't know the Dynamites.
Adam Copeland and Christian.
Well, that's because you don't have.
I'm throwing it out there.
But that's because you didn't have Swerve as the champion, and you didn't have MJF probably making a return. So now those guys, you're telling me that Swerve and MJF and Will Ospreay doesn't surpass Adam Copeland right now? I honestly do feel they do. Adam Copeland is good.
I'm not saying they don't, but what I'm trying to say is that the problem that you have right now is making stories with what you have at the top. You can't just throw freaking dream matches on the wall every freaking pay-per-view.
No,
yes, it makes a great pay-per-view. But what's the story? What's the story of MJF
I'm telling you the
Swerve?
story. I'm telling you the story right now.
I'm coming back for my title?
Yes. Yes. And then Undisputed interferes and makes it a living hell for MJF to get his title, and it costs him to win the title. So that's
okay. So now MJF is with the Undisputed Kingdom, right? After all that's said and done.
Yes.
Where are you at with Swerve? You're still in the same boat. You only made a 1-month pay-per-view.
You could put him against anybody else.
You bring him out with the Undisputed Kingdom, and you're building other people up with Swerve. Now you're already building other people there to where then you finally get MJF to say, I'm done with the Undisputed Kingdom. Now I'm coming after you, Swerve.
Maybe you could do that too, but you're leading up to Swerve and MJF. Like, for example, they could bring back Keith Lee. There is some history between him and Keith Lee there, so that's a possibility they could put against Swerve Strickland, because there's history between those guys. You could bring back Adam Page.
I don't know where his injury is either, though. That's the other thing.
You could bring back Adam Page in this, or Hangman Page again. He could be another one that you could bring in that, because now he actually has the belt, and Adam Page always wants the belt. There's options, man. You're making it seem like there's like no, like it's just MJF and that's it. It's over.
If you were to let me finish, it's the same problem WWE's got right now.
Ooh, we could talk about that in a minute.
It's the same thing as with all of them. I mean, yes, you've got main event Jey Uso going for the title right now, but is there really a story there? No, he just won the 4-way. That was actually the story to get Drew and CM Punk over. Like it's the same issue that they have at the top of all these companies now. It's the same problem.
I wouldn't say it's.
You've made the change over, but now where does it go from there?
I mean, they're entertaining. As long as they're able to entertain, I don't see no issues with it, in my opinion. I think WWE has been doing a phenomenal job with the CM Punk Drew McIntyre feud. And Jey Uso right now.
Did I not just say, yes, they're doing a great job with that story, but what is going to be the story for Cody Rhodes going forward? That's the same problem right now that you're going to have with AEW with Swerve going forward right now. Well, who's going to be that person that you're going to elevate up to be in that role? That's the problem that both companies are going to have right now.
Well, Swerve, when it comes to Swerve, you know what AEW likes to do. They like to put in like random AEW championship matches on Dynamite. So I wouldn't be surprised that they keep feeding him like lower end type of guys. Orange Cassidy, they could feed him. They could feed him Keith Lee if they wanted to. And then in a pay-per-view, they make it okay against somebody big. The WWE side, that's where you might see a little bit of issue with Cody, because you're right. There is not that much you could work with Cody right now. That's where I see it's a little bit hard. But look, they did a good job putting in AJ Styles versus Cody. I thought that's what we both predicted.
Oh, there's matches there, just like you're saying with AEW. I mean, we could throw anybody. You could grab somebody and put them in with Swerve, and they're going to have a great match. Cody and AJ will have a good match. Swerve and Orange Cassidy will have a good match. But is it going to be a story to get you invested into, again, because in a smaller circle, what made the Swerve thing so good was his chase, his trying to finish the story the same as Cody. That's what made that so good, and the investment so good, because you're able to invest in him trying to become the best in the world in AEW. That's the investment. But now the problem becomes the same thing I say with Cody is, do you stay as invested once he wins the title? Now he's the hunted instead of the hunter. Do you have that same investment? Because now it changes that role a little bit. That's going to be the interesting part. That's the part that they're going to have to try to figure out. And again, both companies will be able to do it, I believe. But it's going to be interesting to see how they go about it, because they both look at it in two different prisms. And also WWE has an ace in a hole, because, hey, the draft's this week. So now, hey, we don't have a person for Cody. Oh, that's easy. Let's just grab this guy over here and we move him over here, or we send Cody over there, and now we've made matches.
That's why WWE knows how to work that angle a lot better than AEW.
And that's where we say WrestleMania begins the new year.
Yeah.
Now you go a few weeks getting the champions settled down, your new WWE Tag Team Champions, the new World Tag Champions, you know, the women, which we'll talk about that here in a minute, because I see people talking about it in the chat already. And now you get all that settled down, and now you do the draft and you mix it all up again. Because WWE knows where they want to get to for the next WrestleMania. So they know who needs to be where to be able to work it out, and they know what exactly they're going to do now.
But now let me ask you this, because Cat for Life mentioned it. WWE released a couple people.
Yep.
Any of those potential people can make their way over to the AEW side, in your
I would
opinion?
love to see Jinder Mahal show up and put it to Tony Khan. If Tony Khan's smart, he brings Jinder Mahal in. After the tweet he sent out, and if Jinder Mahal shows up there.
Jinder Mahal is another big dude, and I think we've already established.
Oh, yeah, AEW don't know how to use big dudes.
Yeah,
so that's the Vince McMahon little dude syndrome.
I
mean, honestly, when you looked at maybe Cameron Grimes, Trevor Lee might be the one that'll be interesting because he fits in with the AEW mold. Before he went to WWE, he was kind of that mold. So does he go back there? That'd probably be the only one, honestly, because everybody else they released, maybe Zion Quinn, but he was an NXT guy that was injured and really never took off, never really got a chance because he was injured. Mm-hmm. But then it was Jinder Mahal. It was the guys that were with him, Von Wagner, which those are all big guys.
Yeah.
Zion Quinn, Trevor Lee.
Xia
Lee, maybe. That'd be good addition for the women's. But I don't know what her situation is. She's from China. So I don't know what her situation is as far as like working visa and all that. I don't know if there's going to be an issue with that. But that would be a good little signing for that division. I mean, I don't think it would hurt that division. That'd be a good one. Maybe Xia and Trevor, probably the only two. Trevor being Cameron Grimes.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody else is going to get released, but those are the ones as of today because Cameron Grimes got released today. That was just this morning.
Were you surprised that they released Cameron Grimes?
No. I mean, the only reason I say no is because they couldn't find a spot for him on the main roster. He was just up there to be the guy to push somebody up. You know, it's the same like with Jinder and that tag team. They're big guys and they're out there losing to DIY. Their days are numbered. Von Wagner, they couldn't find anything to do with them. They drafted him to Raw and couldn't find anything to do with them.
Yeah.
It's just guys that were just there. Xia Li asked for her release, and so did Zion Quinn, and they were granted. And and Jinder Mahal came back, and then he's gone again. Everybody that was released were people that were not being utilized and probably were due maybe a raise in pay. And if they're not making the money worth there now, why are you going to do that? So
I think
I hate it when anybody loses a job, but in the business side of things, when you look at it, you can kind of see how and who the releases are going to be.
I think Von Wagner, he kind of felt a lot. I mean, he did really well in NXT, but then after that, it was like they kind of let him go. Like, it sucks for him. But I could see Von Wagner making his way over there. I know he's a big dude. But
yeah, I mean, I just don't know what they do with him, man. I don't trust Tony Khan with the big guys anymore. I don't.
No, that's true. I don't.
You know what's funny, and I don't know if you saw this, and it's funny coming from the person that came from to me. But did you hear Goldberg on a podcast this week?
Oh, you, right? Talk to me, bro. Talk to me. What's going on with Goldberg out there?
So he was asked if he would go to AEW. And basically he said he's had talks with them, but if he's going to a company, it's going to be a company that's going to be competitive.
AEW, baby, competitive. There it is. Yeah, that was a shot at AEW if he said that.
And dude, it's coming from like the problem I have is like all you are is a paid gun for hire at this point in your career.
No, but you bring Goldberg over to AEW. I think AEW should just give him like a contract for like certain amount of appearances. Don't sign him for like 3 or 4 years.
What do you do? Bring him in for what, man? Look what he was doing in WWE when you brought him in.
He had spot appearances.
Take a belt off one guy, to lose it to another guy.
Yeah,
like that's all you were doing. He was the belt holder, so that nobody else had to lose to the next champion. Like that's what he was becoming. Like look, man, it's great to chant the Goldberg. It's great to chant the thing, and yes, he could spear my ass all the way to China. But like bro, like to come out and be like, oh, I'm not going to go there because I don't see them as being a real competition. Bro, you were going to go wrestle for $40,000 or whatever it was in Israel or something before, right? That wasn't against for competition. Yeah, it's for money. Like I don't get what. If Tony Khan went ahead and said, "I'll give you $25 million a match," I guarantee your ass is going to work for them.
Yeah,
even though they're not competition. That's my problem with it all. Is like just be like, look, I've had talks with them. Why do you have to put them down? Why do you have to say, "Oh, I don't see them as being"? And again, maybe they didn't mean it the way it came out. Maybe people are making more out of it than what it is. But you stated it that way.
He did.
Just be like, hey,
shots fired.
I've had talks. It's just not the right time for me right now. It's same thing with like I feel like the same thing happened with Triple H and the Will Ospreay situation. It's like I got into this situation and I got explained to why, and then you put the wrong words in there, and now it's turned into more than it needed to be. And that's what I feel like is there, man.
The Triple H Will Ospreay situation is a little bit different, but the Goldberg one.
It's different because it became personal. But what I'm saying is he was trying to tell a story about what I felt was, look, a lot of people don't want to do the grind. They don't want to wrestle Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Get Tuesday off. Wednesday, you're doing commercials. You're back on the road Thursday. You're flying to Europe. You fly back in Sunday night. You got Raw on Monday. Yeah. That's a grind, man. It's a lot of a build. And I understand, certain people after a while, look, Moxley did it for 8 years. Sasha did it for a long time. Edge, Adam Copeland did it forever. Bryan Danielson, they've all been there, done that. Like at first, when I first heard it, I feel like he was kind of going after them. And then he stepped into it when he said, just because you're big somewhere doesn't mean you can make it in the big time. It's like, no, now you're only talking about one person. And that's where, to me, he stepped into the hole because he was given that opportunity on McAfee's show and he just kept going and kept going and kept going because I got to talk my way out of it. And then you talked your way into it. And that's shit that happens.
Sorry, I just, when you say McAfee, it reminds me of him yeeting.
Oh, yeah. Yeet, 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 yeet.
Yes, sir. I love that. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think at the end of the day.
Roar! There we go. Apparently we got a goal, Panthers, I'm hoping. Unless No Doubt's messing with me.
Actually, you know what? While we're talking, I'm going to stream it on my phone.
Yeah. And then just to go back, go ahead. You got it? You got your thoughts or you want to?
No, go ahead.
All right. Terry said, Sean, do you think King of the Ring winners will be the next in line for title shots? It kind of feels that way. It feels that way listening to what Gunther said and then listening to Drew. Kind of felt like they were going to do there. And
to confirm that is correct, No Doubt is correct. The Panthers just scored.
All right. There we go, baby. There we go.
Nice goal.
There we go, man.
1-0 Panthers in the first.
Let's talk a little bit about the
WWE world.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about because they've already talked about it in the chat a little bit. The women's championship was decided last night, and here's my question, and I'll ask this to the chat as well.
Becky Lynch, baby.
If you're watching us on X, we appreciate it. If you can, jump over to our YouTube channels. I'm at Stanley Media House. He is at Frankie Fresco. Please hit that subscribe button, the like button, and everything else that you can do in between. And my question to you is this. Did WWE take the easy road by putting the women's title on Becky Lynch?
No,
says Frankie Fresco.
No, I think what a lot of people are upset is that a lot of people assumed that Liv Morgan was going to win it. So that's why people are a little bit upset about it. But Becky Lynch winning it, I have no problem with it. As a matter of fact, I thought that was clever for them to put it on Becky Lynch because everybody thought Liv Morgan was going to win it. Everybody thought it was going to be Liv Morgan.
Look, man, it's a battle royal, bro. A battle royal. You could have had somebody fluke up and win that, man. It didn't have to be Becky Lynch. It wasn't like you're having an elimination tournament.
Okay, so if you remove Liv Morgan and you remove Becky Lynch, and don't tell me Nia Jax because nobody.
No, I don't think Nia should have had it. I think that's a chance to put the title on somebody.
Who?
And look,
that could carry that title. That's the thing. Carry it.
No. But see, that's where. Look, this isn't a battle royal. In a battle royal, anything can happen. Just like the Royal Rumble, right? Anything can and will happen. But why not in this battle royal could not anything happen? Now, look, okay, Maxine Dupree, Nia Jackson, her, the last two in the ring. Nia comes running at her. She gets scared, just pulls the rope down. Nia falls over. Maxine Dupree wins the heavyweight title.
No.
Next week, she loses it.
No.
Why not?
Because it's the exact same thing as in Royal Rumbles. The heavy hitters always win.
Why does it have to be that way? Why does the easy road have to be the road that we go?
Because
when I looked at that graph, when I looked at the chart, when they put the title up, the thing up there,
I knew Becky was going to win.
I said, Becky's winning this. I
or
looked
Liv.
right at it and said,
Either Becky or Liv. Either Becky or Liv.
Nope. Because when you looked at it, Becky Lynch was the first person sticking out of that poster.
I mean, the thing is, who can carry that belt afterwards? And you don't want to go ahead and just put a champion for like 2 seconds and then have him lose the belt. That's not WWE's type of way, unless it was a 24/7 belt. Or that's the only one.
To me, then you should have made this a tournament. I hate tournaments because AEW does them all the time. And maybe that's what WWE said. WWE said, we can't be like AEW. We got to do something different. We're going to do a battle royal. And we're not going to put a little poker chip up there. No.
No poker.
We're going to make this for the title. But to me, even Shayna Baszler, somebody different that you could have. Look, the draft is coming up, man. And I think ultimately, probably Becky's going to change sides or probably leave, and they're going to bring the other belt over there.
Probably.
Bayley will probably go to Raw.
Probably.
So to me, I would have felt better saying, hey, throw all the women, bring the women from SmackDown over, everything, put them all in the ring, let it go. The winner is your new champion. And then we could have gotten your champion, man. We could have got Jade, baby.
No.
We could have got Jade as the champion.
Let's talk about that. How come you have a problem with them giving the belt to Becky Lynch, but like you also had a problem with them giving a belt to Jade Cargill's? Like, who do you but you're okay with giving it to like a random girl? That makes no sense. Like, come on, you gotta give the belt to somebody who's gonna be able to live up to that belt. Remember that belt.
Then don't make a battle royal. Like in that battle royal, when you're looking at it, Becky Lynch is the only person winning it. Liv Morgan was not winning it.
Well, Liv Morgan was the only other possibility to win it besides Nia Jax.
She's not going to win it because she's not going to hold the title for 3 months until Rhea comes back.
She could have, based on the storyline that they had going on with her. That Liv Morgan revenge tour, or payback tour, whatever she called it.
Yeah, but that took a backseat when Rhea left. Who's she going to get the revenge on now? Who? Rhea was the one she needed to get the revenge on. That was the revenge tour.
No, she did. She got revenge on Becky Lynch as well. Yeah.
Doing what?
No, I mean, she got a revenge on her, but I'm saying
Nia Jackson and Liv were fighting each other, and Becky Lynch went and grabbed the microphone and conducted interviews going to the ring. Here's my issue. If you're gonna go ahead and give it to just whoever you feel I'm trying to think. What's this girl? Then bring other people over, man.
They don't want to do that.
Those what was it? 10 women in the ring? Like, I'm like, no, I know they're not giving it to Nia. Liv would be. They're not going to give it to Liv.
I thought they would have brought in some NXT. I think that they should have brought in some NXT girls.
They should have brought other people. If you're going to do a battle royal, invite everybody that's not the champion. You got to draft Friday. Who cares who wins the belt?
I mean, I honestly thought they could have brought in some NXT girls. That I could have possibly seen.
You could bring anybody because the draft is Friday.
They didn't want to do that, man. They did not want to do that.
Again, because the easy way is, here you go, Becky. Here's the title.
But you really feel giving Maxine Dupree?
No, I'm not saying that it was the best idea, but hell, I would have enjoyed that a little bit more last night than going, okay, they gave it to Becky again.
It's just that there was nobody out there, man.
I mean, like the only thing I was waiting for was the Charlotte's Flair music to hit with her holding the belt in the crowd, and then Charlotte Flair walks out on the thing.
Look at this list. So you had Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, Nia Jax. Yep. Those were the top three. Yep. Then you got Maxine Dupree, Chelsea Green, which has been destroyed by Jade Cargill a couple times.
Piper Niven.
Natalia, who's been in NXT. Indy Hartwell, who's been teaming up with Candice LeRae. Tegan Knox, Ivy Nile.
Yep.
Zoe Stark. Okay, Zoe Stark may have been one, but I'm not a fan of Zoe Stark. I really don't.
And Katana and Cartana or whatever those.
Why did they even put those two girls in there?
It was like, if you're gonna do that, I would have just been better off being like an open invitation battle royal for a title, and see what happens, man.
I could have agreed.
Got the draft on Friday. I felt like it was just
like they could have. You know what?
Becky the belt and let her defend it. I mean, like
that's smart.
That's a Vince McMahon move to me. Go back to what you know is safe.
You know what?
I know Becky as a champion is safe for my product
because she could live up to the title.
Because
put up against anybody and everybody.
Also, now that as I'm saying this, they're taking a chance on Damian Priest. I think it's going to succeed. Cody Rhodes, not necessarily taking a chance, but again, it's not. You're used to having Roman. You're used to having, again,
new era, baby, new era.
When you're looking at everything else, every other belt changed hands, minus Rhea Ripley, and then she gets hurt, and now her title changes.
And Logan Paul.
Oh, Logan Paul, yeah, but I don't look at the Intercontinental in the U.S. necessarily as just like the tag teams. I think those are more, and again, prestigious. Not what I'm talking about, but I mean, as far as like the face of the brand or however you want to look at it, it's the man, which is Damian Priest and now Becky, and then Bayley and Cody. So when you look at it now, it's like, okay, Bayley's she's done it before.
Correct.
Becky's done it before.
Correct.
The other two, and again, nothing against Cody here, but they've got to put interesting storylines together for Cody to succeed because that chase is over now. The same thing with Damian Priest. Like I felt last night they were trying to explain kind of a backstory of respect between Damian and Jay, and then how then at the end, Damian threw out the insult and things like that. But I felt like they're trying to build more into like a deeper rooted, thing for the story. And I don't know, man. I feel like, and then I like the fact where Damian says they're feeding you to me, and then at the end Jay's like, no, you got it all wrong. They're feeding you to me. Now, like that. At least you get a little bit of something from it.
Now I have a question here because Terry wrote it on the comments a little bit earlier. He asked they should have saved the women's title to after the draft. Do you agree with that? Do you think they should have had this battle royale after the draft?
You know what they could have done? Why not have it at the draft?
That would have been it, and that would have been good. That would have been good. But then you take away from the draft too. I'm not gonna lie.
No, yeah. I mean, again,
they want to focus on the draft.
WWE. I was like, man, that's the second round of the draft. The NFL draft is Friday, second round, and WWE wanted to go against the second round of the draft because now the word draft brings buzz. That's what they're thinking was the reason to do it during this weekend. So why not? They should have maybe waited till next week.
That's what I thought they should have done.
Next week. And then what you can do is don't put up a poster and almost do it Royal Rumble style. Maybe every minute somebody new enters instead of every 2 minutes because you only have, whatever TV time. But then you could have the women's division, whoever got drafted, you could have them come out and be announced the newest member of Raw, Bianca Belair or whatever. And now you've added into the intrigue of, well, who the hell is it going to be? Because again, last night, once you saw the thing go up, there was only 3 names, if you have any smarts at all, of who it possibly could be. And if you understood WWE more, you probably only had 1. But it was Nia, it was Liv, it was Becky. And to me, once I saw it, it was Becky.
It sure wasn't Zoe Stark. I don't know why Cap for Life said they're going to give it to Zoe Stark. I thought Zoe Stark had her opportunity, and then she kind of has dwindled down. That's how
it's odd, man. It's odd.
They were pushing her when
there's
Trish
certain
Stratus
things that are odd with WWE right now, and there's certain things that are like superb. Like it's just like, I don't know. It's getting a little bit odd as far as the middle of the card right now. And maybe it's because they're trying to figure out with the draft and positioning and everything. But like when you look at the Raws and SmackDowns, it's Solo and KO is kind of the story in SmackDown. And then you've got Jay and, the inner struggle of the Judgment Day and Damian and Jay kind of taking over now there. And then the Drew McIntyre story just keeps going with whoever they have. This week it was Sheamus to come out and kind of be the backstory.
Wasn't that so good when he called them burgers?
Yes, I love it. It was like banger after banger after banger. He's like, well, we may have had banger after banger, but lately you've been burger after burger.
Oh my God, he's so good. Like,
so good.
Look, I'm gonna.
And he even said, he was like, brother, you're getting good at the one-liners. He told Drew,
dude, he's getting
great at the one-liners.
So freaking awesome when it comes to these. And I'm telling you, man, I'm a big CM Punk fan, but man, am I starting to really enjoy Drew McIntyre to the point where when those two fight, I don't know, I might start rooting for Drew McIntyre because I want them to keep him as a heel. And if he continues to go this route, he's gonna win the belt eventually.
Yeah,
I know they did him dirty, but there he eventually, because he is just riding a high. And I think he found his niche, man. I like him so much more as a heel than as a baby. Remember, he was a baby as a champion. Just was okay, but man, as a heel, he's so good. And I love the fact that he was like, stop looking up my skirt and stuff like that. It was so good, man. This guy, man, he's killing it.
We saw what he did at the live shows in Europe, right?
What did he do?
He went to take off the kilt, and they started like whistling and stuff. He put the kilt back on. He says, "You don't get sexy McIntyre."
That's awesome.
He wrestled with the kilt.
That's freaking awesome, dude.
And Terry, Imperium's done. Imperium is over. Well, I don't know if it's over, but now it's just Gunther and Da Vinci's out. Da Vinci's gone. He's going to rewrite him out. So it's just
really? They're going to rewrite Da Vinci out?
They wrote him out last night. He got attacked after the match. He beat the crap out of him and took his head and rammed it into the steel stairs. And
see, I must have not seen that part because
it was right after the match.
When I saw that match, I kind of fast forwarded. I was like,
yeah. Luckily, when I'm going through X, certain things pop up for me. So because and then Cat for Life 100%. The Chad Gable thing is going to be very interesting. I honestly think his first after last night, I think his first feud is going to be Otis.
So I'm sorry, going back to the whatchamacallit, the Imperium. It was Kaiser and Ludwig Kaiser.
Ludwig Kaiser. I could not think of his name to save my life, so I just run right through it. But the Chad Gable thing is going to be very interesting to see.
I like
the character arc.
Did you see how he was taking shots at everybody at Tajawa?
Great.
He was good. I mean, I think Chad has finally found his niche again as a heel. I like him as a heel, and I think he's gonna flourish and be bigger as a heel than he's ever been as a babyface, in my opinion.
Yeah, because he does have that arrogant look. Like he almost feels like he pulls that off better. I know you love the shoosh and the thank you, but man, dude, that last night when he was like, "We're gonna win the title for Chad Gable," and he's like, "I want to hear you say it." And he's like,
and you want to know something? Like, if they go this route with him, they need to change his music. He can't continue with the shoosh. He needs to get rid of that. They need to.
I think you'll see that. I think he'll come out, or Otis and them will go to come out, and I think he'll do away with that whole music and everybody will come out to his theme. Everybody in Alpha Academy, because everything's for Chad Gable now, he said.
I love it, yeah.
Everything is Chad. So every time everybody comes to the ring, if they just play Chad Gable's music, I think it's going to be phenomenal.
And you know what's funny? It's if Maxine Dupree, when she got eliminated, hopefully in the next Monday night, like Chad Gable calls her out and says, you made me look bad out there.
Yeah,
that would be so good.
100%. You know what I thought too last night? Natalya eliminates Chelsea Green, and then she went and she sat on the apron, and the ref's like, get back in the ring. So they never saw her get eliminated because everybody was throwing through the table, so nobody's paying attention. I honestly was like, man, I think she's going to last maybe to the end. And then, of course, they threw her out right after. But it was, again, there were some things to it. I just felt to me like it was the safe call. Let's put the title back on Becky because we're not sure what's going to happen with Damian. So if worse comes to worse, Becky can headline a show.
Oh, yeah. Give it to the man.
I mean, that's kind of like how I feel. It's like, okay, we got the same thing. And I'm not taking anything away from Damian. It's just the unknown. And then right now, I don't know that. I think he's got the same problem Cody's got.
No,
yeah, he's got Jay. He's got other guys that you can put with him. But there's, you know what the best story would be is Finn Balor.
Eventually, it could lead up to that because you saw how he was pissed at Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah. He's pissed at Dom and JD.
Yeah,
that was a mess up too at the beginning. I don't know if you saw that. JD McDonough went to clothesline. For some reason, he went with his. I think he went with his right arm, and Jay kind of ducked, and he got stuck on Jay, and then Jay went out, and then came back in for the super kick.
Yeah, I saw that.
He got stuck on him a little bit. So,
yeah, it did look a little bit awkward.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Otis is going to end up being Chad Gable's first feud.
I don't think that would be. I don't think that. I think they keep it with the whole Sami Zayn type of thing. Now, what's up with? Okay, so somebody mentioned it earlier. What's up with all of these people all preaching about the damn King of the Ring? Like, is it that they're gonna become the winner of the King of the Ring gets a title shot and everything?
That's what it feels like, man. Because remember, they're doing it in Saudi Arabia this year. The King and Queen of the Ring on the same night.
Oh, go Panthers!
So, all right, another one.
Yeah, 2-0.
2-0, right.
I should be at that game. God damn.
So, yeah.
I blame you, Mimo. Oh, guys, for you guys didn't know, I was gonna go to the game with Mimo, but Mimo was being, pansy, and he was like, "Oh, you told me at the last minute." I'm like, dude, you get cheap tickets at the last minute. That's the route to go, And that place looks jam packed. It looks great. But yeah, 2-0 Panthers.
Good deal. The other thing, one more thing about SmackDown, Solo Sikoa. I don't know if you saw him show up this week at SmackDown. He was dressed in a black suit, red. Dude, look, even Paul Heyman walked down and said, "Solo, nice threads,
looking good."
Like I don't know where they're going with this.
Yes,
but I'm enjoying it.
It is kind of weird. It also kind of weird to see him talk more now. Like he's talking a lot.
He's getting a voice. He's kind of taking control. And supposedly, and I don't know how it's going to work out, Jacob Fatu is going to either debut this week or next week. But I don't know which show because I don't know how do they draft the Bloodline? Do they draft just Solo? Do they draft Solo and Tom? How does this go together?
You can't draft just Solo by himself. It has to be the whole Bloodline together.
I would think that's what they're going to be doing. But
that's the most.
I'm here for this because sooner or later Roman's got to come back, and
it's going to take a while though.
Yes, but again, at what point does he come back, and how far along is the Solo? Like this whole thing, because it almost feels like he's gone rogue.
Who?
Solo?
Yeah, it does.
He's calling his own shots now.
Yeah, he's on his own.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's talking more. It's not like by order of the tribe, or when he says anything. I feel like he's talking about himself as the tribal chief, man. Like he's making the calls. I'm making the calls. We lost. Changes need to be made. Like that's kind of what I'm getting, which is going to be interesting when Roman comes back because Roman's no longer the champ.
He is not.
So it's going to be interesting to see that, and I'm here for that, man. And what's interesting is if you follow along WWE and you follow on X and you follow some people that go to the shows, the live shows. They've had 13 matches KO against Solo Sikoa at the live shows.
It's crazy.
13 brawls, like falls, anything goes. Do you know what the record is right now of Solo Sikoa?
13-1? I mean 13-0?
0-13.
Oh, I went the other way. Damn it.
He has not won
a single
match at the live shows. Well, you watch him on TV, you wouldn't know.
Dang, can't believe it.
And that's the other thing. No Doubt says, or Solo is taking calls from The Rock. The only reason I don't know, and that'd be another interesting thing. Imagine if Solo's doing this on his own. You've got The Rock, you've got Roman, you got Solo. Like, you got a big battle up at the top.
Damn, it's crazy, man.
I just like the unknown, man, because that makes it more entertaining to me. Is when you're like, okay, let's see where they go. Because honestly, look, I had no expectations for the Bloodline once Cody won the belt. I was like, all right, Roman's going to take time off. Rock's going back to the thing. Here we go. They're going to turn back into Jimmy losing to everybody, and so on. And then when they did what they did on SmackDown, I was like, damn, okay, all right, this is new, this is good. At least it breathes some life into another segment. That now they're in the 6th inning, I guess. I don't know, but we'll figure that out. And then another question I want to pose to you, Mr. Frankie Fresco, and to the chat. You've got the WWE Tag Team Champions, which is Austin Theory and
Grayson Waller.
And you got the World Tag Team Champions, which is Awesome Truth. Both got new belts. And for some reason, Triple H hates Awesome Truth. Gave them the ugliest looking titles compared to the other ones.
Wait, hold on a second. You said that those belts didn't look
I like them. I like them except the red. But then when he introduced the new tag, did you see the ones Theory and them got?
Oh, yeah. They look a lot better.
Yeah. Like, how are you going to do R-Truth like that, man? Are you going to bring back the 24/7 title for R-Truth?
Maybe he did that because he got called as Tommaso Ciampa. Maybe that's why.
You think he's mad? Triple H is mad on for
you can't call Triple H Tommaso Ciampa.
Did you watch last week when they got the titles presented to them? When Ciampa and Gargano entered the ring, did you see what R-Truth did to Ciampa?
No, what'd he do?
He made the gesture, drink the water and do your...
Oh, yeah, he did tell him to do that. Yeah, he did tell him to do that. I'm telling you, R-Truth is so good, man.
And Terry, real quick, Terry said Roman might come back and win King of the Ring, the Tribal King.
Nah, that's too soon. When is the King of the Ring? I know it's in France, and it starts at 1.
No, King of the Ring's not in France. King of the Ring's in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, so the Backlash is at France then?
Yes, Backlash at France. And the interesting thing with Saudi Arabia is those guys pay money to bring guys over. Some of them don't even, like Undertaker doesn't even appear at the pay-per-views, but they pay for him to come over there to eat dinner with the princes. The prince is, I don't want to say princesses, the princes of Saudi Arabia. So they pay, like a lot of the legends will go over there. Last time, again, I don't know if he's going to get paid this time to do it, but Lesnar was sent over. I don't think he showed up on the pay-per-view though. But Lesnar, Undertaker, and there was a couple others. So sometimes they pay for guys to come over there and wrestle extra. So that might be a show where Roman might come back for, but I don't think they put him in the King of the Ring. And I only say that because of the way Gunther and McIntyre, and again, I used it earlier, you get too top heavy in that, you've got to come up with angles to get out of it. And the only thing you could do is have Roman lose, maybe Solo cost Roman if you did that, but then now you've got Roman losing at WrestleMania. Roman loses at King of the Ring. Now Roman's on a losing streak. So I don't know.
Let me ask you something. How we're not talking about the biggest story in Monday Night Raw? That beautiful mustache of Dom Mysterio. How are we not talking about that? That Dom Mysterio mustache was legit. Reminded me of that Vince McMahon mustache. I love it. Gotta love it. And then now that you mentioned, I'm thinking back when you were talking about who to put in, for Damian Priest. I mean, you saw what he did to Ricochet. You saw what he did to Andrade El Idolo. Those are guys that they could put eventually.
Yeah. No, ultimately, I think you're going to start seeing some of those guys move up too. But I go back to me, when the heel has the title, and I know Damian Priest is a heel, but I just don't know that there's that baby face there, man. Like when Roman had the title, they elevated KO. They elevated Sami Zayn. Like those stories had backing, and they built that up with the whole bloodline story and angle to where even if, I don't know that Damian, I just don't see how they do that, man. And I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying, again, I try to get invested into the story of them. And right now, nothing there does it for me except maybe Finn. And I know that's down the road. I'm not saying that's happening tomorrow, but that would be the one right now looking at everything. Because even Jay, I get it, they main event Jey Uso. I get all this stuff, but it doesn't move the needle for me of them with the title. I don't.
Well, what matches have been set up already for Backlash? Just Jey Uso,
Damian and Jay, Cody and AJ.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah, because I thought Bayley Naomi was set up for that, but they're doing that on SmackDown
again. So, didn't they?
No, because Tiffany interrupted. Tiffy time.
Yeah, so they're
Naomi beat Tiffy.
They're running it back.
No, because Bayley said she wanted her first challenge to be Naomi.
Yes.
And then Tiffy came out and was like, no, I beat Naomi. And then Naomi challenged her. Naomi beat her. So now this week they run Bayley against Naomi. So, but I thought that was going to be a match. So obviously something out of this match will start setting up for Backlash. I believe Backlash is next Saturday.
Yeah.
I believe it's a week away. So you're going to have to start getting more matches for Backlash. I don't know.
Yeah, Backlash is right around the corner.
Yeah. I think there's only just the 2 title matches, I believe.
No,
I don't know anything else that's been thrown out. Oh, no, because the DIY fought Awesome Truth too already. So
yeah, I thought that was going to be in Backlash.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think there's any other matches announced now that we're talking about it. I don't think there is.
Yeah, I'm looking online. I'm looking to see if I see something, but I only see those 2 matches.
And maybe they do something like with these next 2 with the draft, and they'll change it around. But
it's May 4th is the Backlash.
Yeah, so the following,
at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, because France time. Yep.
So it should be now. Do you think they did the right decision in making AJ Styles beat LA Knight? And do you feel the same way that I felt last week, where I said, "Hey, I think LA Knight is going to Monday Night Raw," which, in my opinion, I think that's the right move for LA Knight to go to Monday Night Raw. I think that's one that they could put up against Damian Priest. LA Knight versus Damian Priest.
No, that'd be, and again, that's probably what some of the stuff they figured out. Or they moved Damian Priest to SmackDown and keep LA Knight there. But I think that would be a easy, instant kind of match there. I felt, and again, I know you wanted LA Knight to get a shot at him. I just don't feel like Cody against LA Knight right now is, and I'm not saying that Cody AJ is technically a money match, but I feel like that's going to be better than Cody versus LA Knight, because then you got 2 baby faces.
True.
You're in France. It's going to be a different crowd, because the international crowds are always a little bit different. And at least now you have a guy to cheer and a guy to hate. If you mix it up, you have no idea what that match. And now all of a sudden they turn on Cody and they're chanting LA Knight. Yeah. The whole match.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now you've done some damage. So I think again, a safe move going to an international show. It's a heel against a face, cheer for them, boo them, or if they're more of a pro heel, at least they're cheering for AJ because it's not a mixed crowd and they're turning on Cody. It's just the international thing to where bad is cool. So
yeah, I kind of figured that they were gonna go with AJ. Remember, we mentioned it. It was like, hey, I wanted it. I
won the WrestleMania match, which was what LA Knight needed. LA Knight needed that win.
Yes,
he didn't need to win, necessarily the match to first Cody. So that's
yeah. I agree with you on that one. But I mean, I honestly do feel LA Knight is gonna get drafted to Monday Night. But let's talk a little bit about this. Yeah. Who do you feel is gonna go to Monday Night, and who do you feel is gonna go to SmackDown? Like, let's just talk about the people who are gonna change from one to the other. I think LA Knight is one that should go to Monday Night Raw.
See, here's the thing, because I know, if I'm not mistaken, the way this is working is SmackDown leaves Fox in October. November and December, they have no home. January, they appear on USA. At that time, Raw has no home. Netflix starts in March. Now, I'm not saying that somebody, USA won't find another night for them or figure it out or leave them on there until then. I don't know what that's going to be, but that's my only hang up, not knowing and understanding that end of it to where some people are going to go. And I only say that because the networks do have a say in who they would like to have on their show. Mm-hmm. So I got to think if SmackDown goes to USA, you watch Raw, so you know who's there. So I think, and the other thing is Netflix. Like, do you have to have people are going to, if you want to watch wrestling and you're going to have to tune into Netflix, you're going to watch it or you're not. I mean, it's not like everybody has it. That's going to be the interesting thing with this draft is like, usually you would know, okay, because like with Fox and SmackDown and Raw on NBC Universal, now they used to always fight. Like SmackDown, Fox wanted Bray. Then USA, it sounded like they kind of got to pick back and forth on who they wanted. But Netflix won't go into like March or April of next year after they've already done the WrestleMania. So this really doesn't affect them. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, and I got to think Raw stays on NBC Universal. So they're going to have everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, man. I agree. See, the only thing is, I don't know if LA Knight moves or if they move Judgment Day. And if they do that, then Cody moves to Raw because Judgment Day will move over to SmackDown. Cody just got to SmackDown, but he's really not made any appearances yet on that show. His first appearance is going to be on the draft. God, man.
Okay, I'll tell you this, and I'm looking at the Monday Night roster right now, and just looking at the Monday Night roster of people who I think might move to the SmackDown brand, I say DIY moves over to the SmackDown brand. I think they've kind of like capped off, especially since they just had the fight with The Miz and R-Truth. So I feel like that was kind of like their goodbye fight. So they're gonna go to
like
SmackDown.
R-Truth now is the one that moves, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I almost feel like they move the champions around rather than the challengers.
I think Cody's in SmackDown. I think Cody stays in SmackDown. I say Damian Priest stays in Raw. That's what I think. I think those are not going to change.
Well, then Becky and Bayley are switching.
Becky and Bayley.
That means Seth moves to SmackDown too.
I would assume that Seth,
when he returns, he's got a tour, whatever.
I would assume Seth is the right move to move over to SmackDown. I think that's a good one to move over there. I'm trying to think who else.
I'm sorry.
Does the Judgment Day stay on Raw? They would have to stay on Raw. because of the simple fact that they're with Damian Priest, so they would have to stay on Raw, in my opinion.
No doubt. It's odd how they do it. Usually, what they do is they send out I guess it'll be probably Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis doing the calls this year, and they usually make 2 or 3 picks depending on how they want to do. Like it'll be Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, and then they go do a couple matches, and then they'll do a couple more, and then after Raw and SmackDown, they'll be like, go to WWE.com. There's the next, like they did like the 6th and 7th rounds last year on Talking Smack and Raw After Dark or whatever it was called last year. So they go, usually get about 3 picks each round. Usually you move about 18 to 20 people total, maybe 10 each brand. And then what they also do is they throw out the and I don't know if they're going to do it this year. You have your the ones that are free agents, so they can show up on Raw or SmackDown. You know what? I would like to see LA Knight just be a free agent. Just show up and cause hell wherever. That character, the gimmick to me is, I get it that he's over as a face right now, and this and that. But to me, it's more of the, he's got the stone cold in him a little bit to where just don't give a damn. I'm gonna fight whoever and go.
I say you move Jake Cargo to the Monday Night Raw.
And then also, no doubt, NXT is involved in this. They have said Baron Corbin will be at SmackDown. There has been some pitches to bring him up and unite him with Braun Breaker to keep the Lone Wolves tag team together. And if that happens, then I think Awesome Truth or they will probably move to Raw if Awesome Truth stays there, and that'll probably be the tag team titles.
You think Damage Control gets moved to Raw?
Maybe. If they do, Becky won't. I'm sorry, if they do, Bayley won't. I think they'll separate that.
I think it's time for them to separate them.
Yeah, so I think Bayley would be the easier move, and then you keep Becky there. I mean, you move Becky there because now Becky can face Asuka, Io Sky, and now it's different matches. Whereas if you move them over to the other brand, I think you make Raw pretty much. Because looking at that women's division last night on Raw,
it was kind of weak, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
They need to move they need to put Jake Cargo on Raw. They need to move probably Damage Control over the Raw. Because you keep Tiffany on SmackDown. Well, I don't think they're gonna move Jake Cargo because Jake Cargo just signed with SmackDown, so it wouldn't make any sense. But I think they should move her over to the Raw side. Yeah, the Raw needs some help.
Well, also remember too, they've done stupid stuff before where the announcers switched. Remember the announcers were drafted over. Could they do something stupid and move Nick Aldis to Raw and Adam Pearce to SmackDown? Like they switched the GMs?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm throwing a lot of stupid stuff out there, but like, if you want to make a switch up, this is where you do it. I mean, this draft is where you go. Okay, this is what we're doing.
Do you think LWO switches from SmackDown to Raw?
Might as well. I mean,
and you got Legado Fantasma. Legado Fantasma.
They've got. Have they ever had Carlito become the person that has attacked him yet? I know Santos has denied it all the time, but if they ever came out and said Carlitos is the one that laid out Dragon Lee before the WrestleMania?
No, nobody's ever talked about the Dragon Lee who laid him out. You know who could go to Raw? Who could be a baby? Maybe Bobby Lashley to challenge Damian Priest at one point.
Yeah, but then they'd have to move the Street Profits, which would then move Bianca.
That's not bad. That's not bad because the Street Profits have been in SmackDown for a little minute now.
Yeah, and then Bianca Belair would go too. So, which means Jade would probably go too, because right now that's the team. They're going to put them at. I guarantee you, they get the women's tag team title soon.
They don't have to move Bianca Belair. with the Street Profits. Why are you saying that they have
Her
to?
husband is Montez Ford. They don't ever separate them. They don't separate them anymore.
Why not? Who
because
cares?
they travel together.
Who cares?
It's 2 different schedules, man.
It doesn't matter. I mean, my God, that's ridiculous. Separate their ass. They'll be fine. They got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to be together, and Saturday and Sunday.
They won't. Bianca Belair will be doing commercials, and how are you going to shoot your season 2 of the Montez and Bianca show?
Are you watching that?
I watched 3 episodes. I
never watch any of that stuff. The only one that I was sold was when Cody was doing his for AEW. That's the only one that I actually found entertaining. And that kind of sucks that AEW got away from that.
That show is pretty good, but the problem is like I know it's there whenever I want to go watch it. The thing that I like about that show is you get to see Montez Ford is truly who he says he is when he's the babyface. Because Bianca's success doesn't upset him at all. He's 100% behind her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's genuine. It's not a made up thing to where like he's always he says in there, he's like, do I want to be headlining WrestleMania? Yes. But if she's headlining WrestleMania, I'm standing right behind her as she does it. And I think that's what you get most from it, because he's never got that big push for anything.
I think the thing about Montez Ford and Bianca Belair is that I think I don't know how long back they've been together, but hasn't Bianca Belair always been more popular than Montez Ford? So I would assume that he'll be okay with it because she's already been the heavy hitter.
It's one thing to be okay with it for, like and act like you're okay with it is what I'm saying. Like, he's truly okay with it. Like, one thing to say it, one thing to see it. Like, after a while, man, like you're sitting at a table eating, and they come up and ask your wife for an autograph and don't even know who the hell you are. Like,
oh, but people know who he is. He's just not.
It happened on the show. It happened on the show. They were eating. They came up and asked for Bianca's autograph, and he's like, "Oh, do you want my husband's?" And they're like, "Oh, do you wrestle?" And he's like,
"Damn, that's some ignorant fans. How can you not know who Montez Ford is?"
Dude, it happens, bro. It happens, man. It happens a lot more than you think.
I remember last time
at an airport trying to get an autograph on a Funko Pop. Not everybody.
You know what? You're right, man. Because last time you and me went to a show together, I had fans come and approach me, and I was giving out signatures. And then
I sat there like an idiot. Sat there like an idiot. I'm like, they came up to you and was like, "Yo, you on the show tonight?" And I'm like,
I'm just messing around. As a matter of fact, everybody was saying hi to Sean, and I was the lone wolf out there.
You're right there with me, my man. But it's one of those things, because also, like, look, as a guy performer, you can wear a hat and kind of go incognito a little bit.
True.
When you're Bianca Belair, you're not. What are you gonna hide? You can't hide nothing. You're Bianca Belair. You know what I'm saying? So it does happen, but it's it's one of those things to where
maybe I'll watch that show.
Like even like Seth and Becky, and again, I don't know how much of this is true or whatever, but when Becky was on the one podcast and they were talking about the CM Punk thing, and she was like, like Seth knew nothing about it and he felt disrespected, and then the guy was like, wait, so they disrespected him by not telling him at all? And like, but you have to understand, when he starts getting ready for his match, he has this whole thing that he does, so nobody could probably get to him to let him know, hey, CM Punk just signed, he's going to come out after your match, because Randy Orton said he knew, others knew. It wasn't, and again, I don't know how much is true or how much is just still trying to work everybody, because it's like, it's odd to me that you couldn't find a guy that's walking right through, and now you've seen how the gorilla position looks at a wrestling event, because Becky Lynch walked right through it last night, where the producers are all there by the monitors. They're watching everything that happens. So if you need to tell somebody something before they're going out, you definitely could there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see what else here.
Let me ask you something, because
let me talk to you.
I'm reading. That's tomorrow. I want to ask you about, this whole Mandy Rose situation, because Mandy Rose came up again, and she was calling WWE under hypocrisy after banning her name. Number one, do you agree? Well, first, have you heard about that? First and foremost.
No, give me a little backstory on this.
So apparently, after she left WWE, I guess she left in bad terms with WWE. They weren't happy about it. So, she went on to talk about it, and one of the things, she went on a podcast and she went to go talk about it.
Well, it's her podcast, right? With her boyfriend or her husband?
I think it is with her husband or her boyfriend. So then she says this, and I'll read it verbatim what she says. She says, I also just think it's kind of funny and hypocritical where you can't get recognized on TV. Let's say, including my name in that long list of superstars, but yet you can still sell my merch and action figures for the rest of my life. The part really gets me a little bit, in a sense. Like, you're going to be able to sell my stuff for the rest of my life, but yet you can't even showcase or say my name. So what she's complaining is that her name is not being mentioned whatsoever in WWE, but yet they're still selling her stuff.
Yeah, they're still making a profit. What's her name?
Mandy Rose, no?
No.
What's her name?
That's her WWE name, which WWE owns.
But she also was the one who created that name, no?
With the help of WWE behind her, right?
But then why? But why would you ban her name? Why would you ban it? Like, you're selling merch, you're selling. But
here's the one thing too, though, is the month she left, she made over $1 million or $1.5 million on her. It wasn't only, I think it was something else, something similar to the OnlyFans. She wasn't complaining then.
No, but look, she brought a lot to WWE, right?
Okay.
And they just haven't. They don't even mention her whatsoever.
Exactly. What good does it do to mention her?
Oh, well, maybe. I mean,
but she was an NXT champion. What do you want? You want us to introduce you on Raw? Introduce you on SmackDown? NXT is taught as I mean, again, this is what I've always said. If they want to make NXT a brand, then yes, she would need to be mentioned because she helped build the women's NXT title.
Yeah, that's.
But other than that, she's done nothing.
But that's where she's mostly talking about her NXT, like how she made that NXT women's title relevant, because at first it wasn't, and she kind of blew it up, right? She was the one who kind of made that
with the Triple H and Shawn Michaels behind her. Yes.
Yeah, but they don't even mention her. She was the NXT champion for
WWE character. It's like everybody else.
She had the NXT belt for over 400 days, man.
Like,
she was one of the longest champs.
Remember when AEW, when Cody was in AEW, and everybody's like, "Why the hell is he Cody? Why is he Cody?" Because WWE owned the Rhodes last name.
Yeah, but then okay. I understand that you don't want to. I think it's just what she's saying is correct, that they're being
making them money. Why bring it up?
They are making their money because she's still selling merch and she's still selling her name.
And I guarantee you she's getting a royalty check.
Oh, I don't know about all that. If she's complaining,
she's probably not making the money she wants to make, but I can guarantee you she's probably making a royalty check, because I know people that get royalty checks still from some of the videos that are sold from years ago. I guarantee you she's making a real check. No, she's probably not getting introduced and like every time, like when they talk about the women's division, yeah, they're talking about Roxanne. They're talking probably after her up, because why? It doesn't help her. It only helps her at this point to bring up her name again. Doesn't help WWE.
I mean, in the NXT world, I think they should have. I mean, they could always recognize her here and there, like when they're saying, "Oh, the longest lasting. Like, they've dropped names before. It's not like the only one that you hardly ever hear people drop names is Chris Benoit. But besides that,
again, you're talking about the same woman that said, I made more money on my OnlyFans account than I ever made in WWE. Now, all of a sudden, I want WWE to mention me more so I can make more money. What is it? What is it?
Maybe she's not making
bridges.
Maybe she's not making as much money now.
Exactly.
As she was when she first started.
Help me out a little bit. I'm not as big as I was. I'm still big because she is big. I'm not taking that away from her. But I also feel like dude, like when all these guys leave, Dean Ambrose goes back to John Moxley, Cameron Grimes, Trevor Lee. They're not leaving with their names.
No, they're
like
not.
When they signed
Except
Adam
CM Punk,
Cole,
baby. Except CM Punk.
Like when NXT signed Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Bobby Fish, all those guys, I'm like, holy cow. They're not changing their names. It's the first time it's happened in a while. Hell, they even made Bryan Danielson change his name to Daniel Bryan.
That is messed up. At least they gave Edge the rated R superstar, or Adam Copeland.
Because they knew they weren't going to use Edge. You didn't give him Edge, did they?
They didn't give him Edge. No,
because they're going to make money on the Edge. So, that's the thing. It's like, again, it's business still, man. It's still business. At the end of the day, it is the wrestling business.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Now, if we're gonna continue to talk about WWE now, and we mentioned it, and I'm just looking at the chat for a couple of things because I wanted to get an idea of something that we haven't spoken about, and we did mention it a little bit. Is the King of the Ring? Who has declared for the King of the Ring? Obviously, we know that Gunther declared for the King of the Ring, but who else?
Gunther and Drew are the only two I know of men. I haven't heard any women though, so I may be off, but I haven't seen.
How many people compete in the King of the Ring tournament? I don't even remember.
Well, what they used to do was they would do like quarterfinal matches, and then the semifinal and finals at the event. So, like you would win the chance to go to the semifinals, then you'd have your semifinal match, and then the final match at the King of the Ring. But now they're doing King and Queen of the Ring. So if you did that already puts 4 matches on the card. No, actually, 1, 2.
There was no King of the Ring last year, right?
I'm sorry, 6 matches on the card.
There wasn't any King of the Ring last year, right?
Yeah.
Really? Who won it?
They do it on. It was during a Raw. I think Apollo Crews was the winner. Not Apollo Creed. The New Day guy. He was back-to-back King of the Ring.
Xavier Woods.
Damn it! I'm using his old name, Apollo Creed.
That was on a Raw.
That's TNA name. TNA. I'm sorry. Yeah, they did over Raw and SmackDown, I believe, last year.
And then who won the women? Zelina? Was it Zelina?
Zelina was last year, or was that the year before?
I don't remember. Okay, I'm trying to read here. It says, who is the King of the Ring now? 2021's Crown Jewel saw the New Day. See, it's 2021. Crown Jewel saw the New Day.
22 and then no 23?
Yeah, I don't remember thinking about. There was no King of the Ring last year. It said Crown King of the Ring, and Zelina Vega won the first ever Queen's Crown tournament, which meant the return of the much-loved event taking place in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This was back in 2021. They haven't had the King of the Ring the last couple of years. I didn't know it was that much. I thought it was only last year that they didn't host King of the Ring. But they didn't have King of the Ring last year.
Because Xavier came out when Gunther was doing his thing, and he said, I'm the back-to-back King of the Ring defending, and you're talking like I can't defend my crown or something. So I just took for granted that.
I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm looking it up to see if there was somebody last year. Hold on. So I'm gonna tell you. Oh wait, no, this doesn't tell me. This only gives me all the way to 2015. Crap. I thought it had more. I'm not sure. I'm just looking at it online, see if I see anything that says winners, but oh, here we go. King of the Ring. Let's see. There should be here a list. King of the Ring 2024.
Oh, Sheamus is also revealed he's going to be in it.
He's going to be in it as well?
So it's Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew right now.
Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew. Those three. Who else can compete in that King of the Ring? Who would be a good person for them to have in the guys section to be in King of the Ring? I say you stick in LA Knight in King of the Ring, bro. I like LA Knight in the King of the Ring.
The only thing like with King of the Ring, it's like
King Booker.
I almost feel like it's set up for Gunther to win. That's the only reason I say no to LA Knight.
It's true.
Because I feel like it's set up for Gunther to just go through and start his rise to try to go for the title.
You think that
Sheamus and Drew take each other out, or CM Punk interferes and costs Drew somehow.
Okay.
And you know, like there's always little angles built into every match. You can kind of see it to where it happens. Like I could see Drew against Sheamus, CM Punk interferes, Sheamus wins, so he gets revenge on the Burger, you know, Burger, and then CM Punk keeps that going with them, and then I can see Gunther beating. That's the thing. Like I don't.
Chad Gable, because Chad is all about Chad, so he wants to go.
And then he can blame Otis or somebody for not being there.
Yeah.
And then you got Gunther against Sheamus for the crown, and Gunther wins it.
Yeah,
that way, you know, the women's is even harder because, like,
man, who of the women can win the?
I mean, how do you do the women right now?
I mean, because Zelina was really good when she.
I would say Becky would win it, but she's the champion now.
Can't give it to Becky, man. You gotta give it to. You know who you could give it to? You could give it to one. Chelsea Green.
That'd be great to write that in there somehow.
Yeah, you got.
Piper could be out there helping her, like, and she wins. She gets the pins, but Piper does the damage, and you know. Somebody said Jade is the queen.
You can't do that.
I just feel like you don't put Jade, you don't put Bianca. Naomi might be in there, maybe.
Indy Hartwell,
Naomi, Chelsea.
We don't know when Raquel Rodriguez is going to come back.
Yeah.
She would have been a good one to bid in that battle royal, but
I
guess maybe she was hurt. What's the story on Sonya Deville? Has she gotten better after her injury, or is she still out?
No, she's been out for a while. I think she had an ACL.
Yeah, no, she
she had real bad knee. Like it was more than just it was like everything in her knee. So, but again, maybe they're keeping her quiet just to be, you know, however.
I mean, the winner of the King of the Ring sounds like the person who's going to be challenging for the belt.
Yeah, that's the other problem why I say no to Chelsea Green now, thinking about it. Because if they do elevate that, as what I think No Doubt saying, they talk of raising the level of the title, it needs to. I agree with that. I just don't know that. Again, Jade is like, I feel like Jade and Bianca are set to win the tag team titles, and then ultimately one of them gets tired of the other, and you're gonna have the Jade Bianca blow up, and then that's gonna elevate Jade up the ladder from there. That's my opinion. I just think like the Queen of the Ring, it was always, and honestly, like this is the first time King of the Ring where you're getting like I mean, think about it. It was Xavier Woods has been winning it.
Oh,
like when you start seeing those guys win it, you don't think of it being a challenge to a title. Yeah. Like now you've got Gunther, Drew, Sheamus, like this is a little bit different now. I feel like it's making it mean something more, which is different than what it used to be. This used to be, think about this. Let's go back even way further. Stone Cold won because Triple H did the curtain call. That was supposed to be Triple H's time to go to the top. He does a curtain call with everybody else. Everybody knows the story. Razor Ramon and Diesel leave. Shawn Michaels is the champion. Triple H has to eat crow. It's changed. Stone Cold Steve Austin becomes the winner. And who did he beat? Jake the Snake Roberts. Think about the people that were in the King of the Ring at that time. It was Mark Merrow, Jake Roberts, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I want to say Gold Dust, I believe, was the other one that how it worked out. I believe. I'm not 100% sure who it was. You had Macho Man, who was the Macho King. You had Harley Race, who was the king. Like, so I guess you've had people there, but recently, Stone Cold was not Stone Cold when he won King of the Ring. It elevated him because he said that, because of what he said to Jake Roberts. You thump your Bible when you say you're John 3:16, Walson 3:16, so I just kicked your ass. And he blew up from there. Mm-hmm. But it's never really been.
Yeah,
I know Owen Hart won it one time. He won the king, and he was the king of the Slammies because he won King of the Ring and this bunch of Slammies. So he was king of Slammies for a while.
Didn't Chris Jericho win it once too? I think Chris Jericho.
I don't know if Chris Jericho won it or not.
I'm trying to look at the past.
Hold on a minute. Where's the Wiki? I just had the Wikipedia up.
Let's see. All right, I think I pulled it up. Hold on. List of winners. Here we go. All right, so here's the list. You got Baron Corbin won it. Bad News Barrett, Sheamus, William Regal won it. Booker T, Brock Lesnar, Edge, Kurt Angle, Billy Gunn, Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock won King of the Ring. I don't remember that.
They took the thing and busted it over his head and started an angle. He never wore anything. They took the scepter and busted it over him.
Oh, there you go. Triple H, Stone Cold, Owen Hart, Mabel, Bret Hart. Bret Hart won it back-to-back in 91 and 93. Tito Santana, Ted DiBiase, Randy Savage, Harley Race, and Don Morocco.
Oh, Morocco.
Those guys all won it. Man, it's been a minute since I paid attention to these. I don't know why I thought Chris Jericho was in one of them.
But going back to it, it's really just been let's give somebody a little bit of see what they do with it. It hasn't been what they're trying to make it now. You know what I'm saying?
Look at this. So I'll give you some examples here. So when Xavier Woods won it, he beat Finn Balor. When Baron Corbin won it, he beat Chad Gable. Sheamus, Johnny Morrison. William Regal was with CM Punk. Booker T was with Bobby Lashley. Brock Lesnar, he won King of the Ring? Wow.
Oh, no.
It says here that he won it in 2002.
Brock Lesnar won King of the Ring?
Against Rob Van Dam. I had no idea. I don't remember. But see, this year I was graduating from high school, so I don't remember this too much.
Because in 2002, the main event was The Undertaker versus Triple H for the Undisputed Championship. So
let me look at this card, because I do see the card here. The main event was The Undertaker defended the title against Triple H. You're right. And yes, he literally... Yeah, Brock Lesnar won the...
Yeah, because a lot of people won it, and then nothing happened of it because it was just like a thing.
Yeah, they never...
you had some like King Booker.
Check this out. So
there were some that made it a gimmick, and others just like, oh, did they want it?
Look at this card. This card was the Hardy Boys defeating Raven and Steven Richards. Rob Van Dam beat Chris Jericho. Brock Lesnar... so one of the semifinals was Rob Van Dam beating Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
The next semifinal was Brock Lesnar versus defeating Test. You had JB Noble defeating the Hurricane, Ric Flair defeating Eddie Guerrero, Molly Holly defeated Trish Stratus, Kurt Angle defeated Hulk Hogan. And then in the final, it was Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman defeating Rob Van Dam, and then The Undertaker beating Triple H. Wow, man, I don't remember Brock Lesnar winning King of the Ring.
This is from 2015. The quarterfinal matches were on Raw. Bad News Barrett beat Dolph Ziggler. R-Truth defeated Stardust.
Wow.
Sheamus defeated Dean Ambrose by disqualification. Neville, which is Pac, defeated Luke Harper. Then at the pay-per-view, Neville beat Sheamus. Bad News Barrett defeated R-Truth, and Bad News Barrett defeated Neville.
Yeah. Wow. It's been, that goes to show you maybe the Triple H does a better job of like pushing King of the Ring and making it like more relevant compared to what it's been the last couple of years.
Well, he's made everything else feel bigger than what it was. Again,
yeah, that makes sense.
Like Vince McMahon to me treated it like a novelty. I think Vince McMahon's going to try to. Triple H is going to try to make it mean something.
I think that would be a good idea. I think the winner of moving forward, the winner of the King of the Ring and the winner of the Queen of the Ring should get a title shot.
I mean, it makes sense. And the way they're doing it with the names they're putting in there, like, again, we're reading the names of who have been in some of these King of the Rings. I mean, when you look at Brock Lesnar, that's different, but
Jesus, yeah, I know.
It's not like you got all the main event guys in there, whereas this time you're getting guys that seem like they're trying to get to the main event in the match.
Yeah. Yeah, because even in 2019 King of the Ring, you had Cesaro versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe beats him. Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre. Ricochet beat him. Cedric Alexander versus Sami Zayn. Cedric beats him. Baron Corbin and The Miz. Baron wins. Kevin Owens versus Elias. Elias wins. Yeah, when you look at these, you're like, damn, man, can you picture these guys winning in today's? It's so funny. Like, Chad Gable beats Shelton Benjamin. Andrade beats Apollo Crews, and Buddy Murphy loses to Ali. Damn, Ali was still in WWE. That's crazy. Then you have Samoa Joe and Ricochet ended up in a draw. And Baron Corbin beat Cedric Alexander, so it made it into a triple threat match between Samoa Joe, Ricochet, and Baron Corbin. And that's when Baron Corbin won, and he made it all the way to the final. And Elias beat Ali. Chad Gable beat Andrade. Chad Gable then beat how in the world? Where does this come from? So apparently when Elias won, for some strange reason, I guess something happened to Elias because Shane McMahon shows up here. Do you recall that? Do you remember that? I don't remember this. In 2019, apparently Shane McMahon made it to the semifinals. Like, he skipped the first two rounds, the first round and the quarterfinals, and he just jumped in. And then he fought Chad Gable, and then Chad Gable beat him by submission. I don't know what happened. Something must have happened here. I don't. Shane McMahon made himself special guest referee during the match. Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't remember that one.
Elias was forced to withdraw from the tournament due to suffering an ankle injury, and McMahon made himself his replacement. Oh, I don't remember that, man. Damn, dude. And this was 2019. Maybe it's because it was like we're close to the pandemic. I don't know. I probably wasn't paying attention to it, but damn, I don't remember that. But good to know. Damn. Look at visiting that. I mean,
that's kind of where they've had the King of the Ring at, and now they're trying to make it mean something. I go back to what we always talk about with AEW sometimes is they do so many tournaments, you start watering it down.
True.
And then, I mean, again, this means something. It makes it mean something, I mean,
well, if you're gonna, it's a good way. If they start making it mean something, two things could come out of the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring. Number one, you could elevate somebody who's not like big in the roster to win it. Like I was saying, like a Chelsea Green. You could do that. What happened?
Trapio said Panthers blew that lead quickly.
Oh, I stopped watching the game. And then the other the other thing that I could do is like what you said, that they just elevate their strongest competitors and then just make it even more meaningful. One of the two, because I'm looking at the women, and the only one that stands out, I was gonna mention this on the women's side that I think would make sense to win it. Call me crazy. I think Dakota Kai would be a good
crazy.
Dakota Kai winning it, because then she could go after a belt. I like it, and you could put her against Bailey, or you could put her up against Becky Lynch. I like it. I think Dakota Kai
not a bad idea. I mean, again, I think the winner probably comes from the SmackDown side, at least what the SmackDown roster is now. Because when you go over to the Raw side, Liv would be the only one I think that could be a Queen of the Ring, there. And I just think that would be, again, an easy thing to somebody that's already going to be getting in line for a title match, because ultimately, when Rhea comes back, that's probably the match they want to get Rhea back in too. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, DeTrapio said it too. Tiffy time.
That's another one. That's another one.
I mean, again, but that's all. The SmackDown side seems to be, where I think the Queen of the Ring is going to be the toughest.
I got one last thing to ask you, sir. You mentioned it last week. You said, hey, they were thinking about bringing Uncle Howdy, Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman, and Matt Hardy. And we saw where Matt Hardy went. He's in TNA. Along with Santana.
Yep.
So does that, but he did kind of leave it open that I think he could still negotiate, right? He's still gonna, I think he was.
Yeah, he's got the contract, I think, like what kind of like Matt Cardona and them have, where you're there, but you can still, if you get the better opportunity, you can take it.
Gotcha. So there's a possibility he could still come to WWE then, in other words.
Yeah. But I think ultimately, I think it's, look, go there, do your thing, just try not to get hurt and come here.
Okay.
And again, maybe Matt Hardy is further in the storyline to where, you know, my understanding is the four they originally wanted were, you know, again, what was talked about was Eric Rowan, Alexa Bliss, Braun Strowman, and of course, Bo Dallas. Those are going to be your four to start. And then you could bring in, because I don't know how they're going to do it, but apparently.
Well, you saw the cryptic stuff, right?
You saw on the video when they did the thing about the Immortal, the documentary, he kind of had that shop there where he was always there and talking about and stories and ideas. So they're going to try to make some of these ideas come to life. I just don't know how much, you know, Bray detailed some of these ideas and how much is going to be others trying to figure out.
But wait,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's the problem. That's the thing. This is my worry on this whole thing. It's cool to have the characters, but if it becomes a watered down version,
yeah, it's gonna hurt.
And then it becomes.
But let me ask you this, because now I'm remembering stuff on SmackDown. Remember the little cryptic.
Yeah, they've been throwing out the cryptic things so you can scan them and things like that.
So the QR code came out. Did you click on that QR code? Did you see what?
No, I didn't, but the people did, and it was a rabbit in a hole, or a rabbit going down a hole or something.
That's what it was, because I saw it was something black, and I was like, "What is?"
Oh, maybe we're talking about two different ones, because they had a QR code before on other things too. I think there's been 3 of them so far.
Yeah, there was a QR code of one, and I actually have it. Let me see if I could put. I may still have it on my phone. And I was like, "What is this?" Like, I was trying to figure out what this meant, but maybe you know more than I do, and what it's
the thing they've been doing at the live audience is before they go live, like a minute before they go live, the thing will go blank. The screens will all fizzle. They'll be playing some old time music, and then it cuts off, and then you'll hear the announcer be like, going live in 10 seconds. So
yes. So look, this is it. I don't know if I should share it on the thing or just show you on my.
Oh, bring it up, man, if you can.
Look, here it is. Do you know what that is?
I can't tell what that is. Can you bring it up or no?
Yeah, hold on. Let me airdrop it to my computer.
Sorry.
And then I'll pull it up on the screen. That way you guys can see. Because I didn't know what this was. This was that was the first QR code that came up when they were presenting the belts to Grayson Waller and
Theory.
And Theory. That was the first one, and I was like, "What is this?" Here it is. That's what it is. I don't know what the hell that is, man. Do you guys know what this is? That was the first one that I was like, "What is this?"
Looks like a woman. Would that be Alexa Bliss?
I don't know.
Abigail?
I like the little.
It looks like there's a tear coming from the eye. It looks like there's 2 eyes and a tear running down.
I know that they're shine. Look at the shine on the top. So yeah. I guess that's kind of like giving something for Bray Wyatt, maybe saying that he's looking down on them or something. I don't know. but it just looked a little bit weird. I was like, what is this? And I was trying to look and see. Maybe you guys know more than I do, but I was looking at this. I was like, I don't understand
Yeah,
this.
there's some Twitter accounts that are like just set up for Bray Wyatt stuff. Like it's pretty interesting, and when you go to them, you can look at them and it'll make you think.
Yeah, so that was one of the things I saw, and I was like, I don't know what this is, man. And again, I wasn't like a diehard Bray Wyatt type of guy, so I don't understand what this message is. If one of you guys know more what this means, I would greatly appreciate it. Let me know, because I have no idea what that was, to be honest with you. I was thinking about it and I was like, what is this crap? But maybe there's
no, I mean, and again, that's the thing, like that my worry is that, you know, again, because I can't believe that maybe he did. I don't know, you know, he wrote in detail everything to where now, you know, now you're thinking, okay, what would Bray do? I want to make sure this is like good stuff, not what he got stuck with at the end with Vince, where, oh, we're going to trade Sister Abigail on you, and and then what? You built all this time, the whole Bray character from before he was even the Fiend was Sister Abigail led him, and now Sister Abigail turns on him the first time, second time they're together, or whatever it was. You know, it deserved better. It deserved better.
It did.
All right, man. Let them know where they can catch you, man.
Frankie Fresco. I updated my name right there. That way you guys can see. Make sure you guys hit me up on all social media platforms, on IG, X, on the Frankie Fresco YouTube channel, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock? I gotta find out. Maybe 8 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock. I'm not sure. We do Let Me Talk to You with my brother. I know last week we did 7 o'clock. Well, I think we're gonna go back to 8 o'clock tomorrow. And then on top of that, I don't know if you guys were able to catch me, but I was at the CCW event. Shout out to everybody in CCW. I had a great time. I thought it was fun. Shout out to over there, the brewery in Doral. It was a different atmosphere, but it was great time. If you guys ever get a chance to go to CCW, make sure you make your way over to one of their events. It's always fun, and you know they're getting bigger and bigger, man. I mean, Brian Cage was out there.
Congratulations on their 20th anniversary show. Friday, they had Riddle, Billy Gunn, QT Marshall, Brian Cage, all there.
Yeah, they had all those guys
with their other great stars that they have with the company.
And one thing I do want to say to everybody who's tuning in and watching is, you never know who you're gonna see, because there was actually a post I saw on Twitter. There was a fight in an indie show, and you want to know who it was? It was Cody Rhodes versus Swerve Strickland. That wasn't Swerve's name at that time. He had a different name. So those two guys actually fought in an indie show. And now look, they're the two champions for each. It was actually
the first indie show of that promotion that they fought at.
Look at that. So like, if you go to these indie shows, wow, you might be able to catch some of these guys, you know, coming up, and then you see them get this big. And if you become really like close to them, they'll always remember you, man. Look at LA Knight when he was in indie shows as well. He's grown to be one of the biggest stars in WWE. So again, man, make sure you follow me. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe. Make sure you share it with your friends and your family. And make sure you tune in every Tuesday for Squared Circle Digest, me and Sean. And then Let Me Talk to You with my brother on Wednesdays, 8 o'clock on my channel, Frankie Fresco.
And on my channel, it is Stanley Media House. You can hit the subscribe button, the like button. Appreciate everything you do for both of us, and the Trapio also when you let me talk to you. But also follow me on social media at Sean_Stanley11. And I have some more stuff coming out. Hopefully I'll be able to do more now. Dude, do you know what happened at my house here? Do you know the big metal cans of like pineapple and fruit cocktail like you can buy bulk?
Okay.
So we had those in one of our rooms, and something fell, hit it, and it exploded.
Oh wow.
During the pay-per-view. That's when you were texting me and I was like, there's something that's going on at the house.
Yeah.
I had the whole utility room we had to pull everything out of, and pineapple everywhere, man. Pineapple everywhere.
Wow.
It was fantastic.
And that's crazy.
Yep. So, yeah.
No doubt, gross.
No doubt,
And no doubt, I saw that save. Jesus Christ. Sean, when you get a chance, watch that save. I'm pretty sure they're going to be showing it on
Sports Center Top 10.
Yes. Dude, what a save by the Panthers goalkeeper. Jesus Christ. He did a backflip and saved that crap. Wow, dude. Impressive. That's definitely a top 10 in the ESPN, bro. What a save.
At Sean_Stanley11 on all social media, Stanley Media House on the YouTube channel. Also, I got the community going now too. So if you sign in and follow, subscribe, sending out wrestling questions every day, trying to get a little wrestling community going, polls, conversation, everything else. So please be involved and look at this. That's the Bob. I love you, Bob.
You saw that?
I love you, Bob.
Threw himself and saved that, bro. What a
that
save.
was awesome.
Wow.
Now we're probably gonna have to limit that on our thing. But every Tuesday, it is here 7 p.m. Should I bring out the Paul Heyman?
For me or for the listeners? Put it out there.
For the Tampa Bay Lightning?
That was Sergio Bobrovsky.
No, that's Sergei Bobrovsky. Good save. No, I won't bring that out, man. But we appreciate all of you for tuning in, watching the show. Please subscribe to both channels, Stanley Media House, Frankie Fresco. Let me talk to you tomorrow, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. I think we were on 8 p.m.
Well, once you subscribe, when he puts it up there, you'll be able to see it 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Thursday, the draft, too.
Thursday is the draft. Friday is the SmackDown draft. Maybe, you know what? I might do something, record something Friday after the draft. If it's, we'll see how the draft goes first. If it's something that like mind blowing, because I usually recap SmackDown anyways on Saturday. If nothing crazy happens, maybe I'll just do that. If something crazy does happen, maybe I'll.
We didn't have we didn't have our draft like we did last.
Yeah, but I want to watch and see this draft, man, because what throws me off is the networks, man. Because the networks usually drive the draft. And they're both going to be on the same damn channel.
Correct.
So I just don't know about this one because it just doesn't feel like really either one's going to move much. But we will find out. And in the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine, state.